Welcome to the 2017 version of the Boondocking Bears channel. I'm still Rick, and over there is still my trusty sidekick, Little Bear. Well, 2016 is put to bed and 2017 is upon us, and I can't say that 2016 ended well after promises by Johnson & Johnson's legal counsel regarding my case were not kept, but c'est la vie. But that's not to say that 2016 didn't have many wonderful moments, the highlight being the arrival of my second grandson and the engagement of my daughter to a wonderful young man. Now, how can you not love a guy who loves your daughter, who asks me for her hand before proposing? Good old-fashioned manners and respect, gotta love it. Anyway, back to RVing. Where 2016 looked like the year to finally put all the planning to bed and get on the road, it didn't happen, obviously. This product liability case that has handcuffed me pertains to J&J selling poisonous artificial hips, of which I got one. Oh, I'm probably not supposed to say. Allegedly poisonous hip, even though it was proved in a California court. It all started in 2009, and I won't get into my thoughts about J&J's morality or ethics as they continue to victimize thousands of people by unreasonably delaying settlement in a case for which they've already admitted liability. But enough of that. Hopefully 2017 will bring an ending to it all and I'll get on the road. So let's talk about that. Now, I'm sure many of you folks must think I'm a genuine nut at best and a flake at worst, or just a crazy young feller trapped in an aging body, as I have meandered for the last 5 years through the options of how to travel. And quite frankly, I don't blame you. The flip-flopping I've done on rigs, changing my mind, evolving from Class A diesel pushers to elongated Class Cs, then a Can-Am Spider and tent trailer, and now truck camper, it seems endless, if not a little bit neurotic. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if you thought I was a bit daft or playing games on YouTube. Well, I'm not. It's just the way it has played out, much to my dismay. Watching this all unfold on film, however, likely proves why aliens don't visit us anymore. Anyway, that said, let me bring you up to date on my updated travel plans, because there are some new wrinkles, as there always seems to be. And before going there, the one positive from all this delay has been the opportunity to study RV traveling in depth from all angles. Rigs, RV park states, national forests, the RV community, boondocking, and all the other factors that affect RV travel. And doing this all before a substantial investment into a rig has been beneficial to me. The downside is, of course, knowing that what I learned doesn't always reflect well on the RVing community/industry. For example, for the most part, RV rig build quality sucks. Whatever class or price range they are, they're just slapped together with less quality control than I would expect from such a major purchase. Then getting your rig serviced can be and usually is a huge problem and expensive unless you enjoy tinkering and fixing stuff. But to me, that just takes away from the overall RV experience. I'm not a tinkerer. Now, unquestionably, this has influenced my thinking of rig selection, so take that into consideration when considering your own travel plans. Also, in general, campgrounds are an issue for me too. I don't want yappy kids running around my campsite. Sorry, it's just the way I am. I've raised my kids, I've done my time, and while I love kids, that phase of enjoying other people's kids has passed me by. And the overcrowding often seen in many of the private parks isn't my thing either. Yes, state and national forests are better, and boondocking is ideal, but not always easy to find. So that affects my rig decision and is my bias. And despite this, and don't get me wrong, I still want to RV travel, but in a way that suits me. So 2017 plans, yes. What will this year bring and how will it happen? So I watched a recent YouTube video that was an interview and a walkabout with a fellow who traveled solo full-time in a Toyota Tacoma pickup truck with a Travelite 690 slide-in truck camper. Now, as the video went on, and it was a very good video, I got really excited. This seemed like the perfect rig for me. The camper provided security for Little Bear, and the small pickup truck was the perfect blend of fuel economy and capability. I could hitch my bike behind, and I was all set to go. So I watched it several times, made some notes, and then headed off to do the research. Well, no matter how I rigged this thing together, whether using the Tacoma or any other of the small pickups like the Ford Ranger, the Chevy S10, the Colorado, or even the Nissan Frontier, with the Travelite 690 on board, which incidentally is about as light a full hardwall truck camper as there is, it was way over the truck's GVWR rating. Now that combination was out of spec and likely illegal in some states and certainly unsafe. Now if you're driving flat roads, while it would be hard on the truck, being overweight probably isn't all that big a deal. But I kept imagining coming down some mountain road, towing my motorcycle, worried half to death whether the brakes would make good if I had to stop quickly. Now, I'm not a worrywart by nature, but I'm not at the bottom of the intellect pile at the bus shelter either. And if it works for someone else, so be it. But I'm not prepared to sacrifice the degree of safety to save a few bucks. So another option is crossed off, and disappointingly so this time. I really thought I had it. I love that rig. Damn. Okay, so reality check. Let's list a few things. First and foremost, I am not prepared to not travel this summer, legal settlement or not. So I will be traveling come hell or high water. Perhaps not as I ultimately want to, but Little Bear said at Christmas to me, "Make it so, number one." Next, I have plans to introduce a new thread of videos to the channel that I'm really excited about. They're travel related, but more than that, and I think you folks will find them really interesting. I've spent the winter researching and preparing to make them, but I need to get on the road to do it. In researching them, I even used a focus group, albeit just friends, to hear out the ideas, and they too thought it was a really cool idea. So there's that. Thirdly, because I won't wait for the lawsuit to end to travel anymore, but I'm still somewhat financially handicapped by the cost of the hip fiasco, I'm going to make it really simple and let how I travel grow over time. As the case settles and more rig opportunities then open up, I'll upgrade with added experience, of course, of having been out there already. So the decision to travel is made, and I'll grow as it goes. Next, to start, I'm just going to grab my photography equipment, Little Bear, and a change of jeans, hop in the car, set the GPS, and go. It's that simple. Now, it's not ideal, but hey, I'm finally out and about and have tons of regional, relatively local places I want to hit up. So traveling in the car, this works for me. I'll join the Motel 6 frequent, whatever they call it, club and stay at motels for the time being. And during the day I can tour about, explore, and do my video shoots. I'll plan 2 to 5 day trips during the week to avoid crowds and get a lower rate at the hotel. Now I picked Motel 6 because they're clean, they're safe, and they're almost everywhere. But at 39 to 49 bucks a night, they're inexpensive and not that much more than an RV park. So it costs slightly more per night, but I don't have to spend 50 grand on a rig for the privilege. This at least will get me started. Now, if hotels don't cut it, I'll trade in my car and get an SUV, like a Ford Escape or a Toyota 4Runner, something like that, that type of vehicle, and buy a Napier 84,000 SUV tent. Now, if you haven't seen these things, they're pretty cool. They have received very high reviews, and they are a great temporary solution to getting me out camping while not sleeping on the ground. And that's a major bugaboo of mine. Getting up and down from the ground just doesn't work. Now I can use the SUV and stay in state parks or forests and camp. And I like this idea because it's great to bridge to the truck camper in the future. And I can still even hitch up my bike and tow it with me and then set up a base camp and take the bike out on tour each day. And there are a lot of pluses for this as a temporary solution. However, there are 2 potential drawbacks. First, Little Bear won't be safe alone in a tent if I have to get away without him, and the idea of locking him into an SUV alone is animal cruelty. Secondly, it takes about 20 minutes to set up with 2 people and 30 minutes alone. Now, being permanently but functionally disabled with chronic hip pain, it'll probably take me a little longer. And that's not a big deal if it isn't pouring rain, and I plan to spend a few days there. But getting soaked and then setting up in the late afternoon and tearing down again in the morning, that doesn't really work for me. So there is that. I do like the idea though, especially as a bridge solution. And then finally, when the lawsuit closes, I'll go the pickup truck and slide in truck camper route, towing a Suzuki Bergman 650 maxi scooter behind me. Now, I might upgrade to the Can-Am Spyder in the future, but want to start with the Bergman only because they're about a third of the cost of the Spyder. Now, even with the truck camper ready to go, in good weather, if it's just an overnight or a few days, I'll pack Bear onto the back of the bike, leave the truck and the camper at home, and stay in a motel. That's just cost efficient, and for me, it's fun. For longer trips, like a month in the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee riding the twisties, I'll tow the bike and stay in one of the many motorcycle campgrounds and be a very happy camper. I've got my truck camper, I got my motorcycle, Bear's safe, all good to go. The same with extended trips to Virginia for Civil War research or when visiting friends around an area. I really love the flexibility of this solution. And then also in the winter, I can pack up, hitch the bike behind, and head south to warmer weather. Bingo, bango, bongo, all is well in the world of Little Bear and me. This works. So there you go, folks. Now you're all up to date. It's time to get her done. So now please comment if you see fit, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, smile, have fun, be charitable, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.